Welcome to Cape Girardeau. I'm Morgan Johnson, and today we are going on a presidential tour. Join me as I attempt to track down all of the locations presidents and presidential hopefuls have spoken in this town. Stay tuned.
It's good to be in Cape Girardeau.
Here we are at the Cape Girardeau riverfront. In October of 1909, President Taft was on a riverboat tour from St. Louis to New Orleans, and on his way, he stopped here in Cape Girardeau. On the 26th, his fleet of boats stopped in downtown Cape. The entourage drove up to the university at Academic Hall. The president gave a speech, got back on his boat, and headed down the Mississippi. Later that day, he would also stop in Cairo. The biggest change in this location is the river wall right here. Outside of that, it is relatively the same. It's just 100 plus years older. And just over the river wall is the location of this photo of Richard Nixon. Nixon campaigned here in 1952 when Eisenhower was running for president. Nixon, of course, would be campaigning as his vice president. Today, this area is a parking lot, but back then there was a train station located here. Let's move over to the plaza. The year was 1968. The 60s suffered from the Vietnam War and President Kennedy's assassination. There was deep division across the country, but one person who was very popular was Robert Kennedy, the brother of John F. Kennedy and the father of RFK Jr. Kennedy campaigned here in Cape Girardeau in April of 1968, about a month after President Johnson announced he wouldn't seek re-election. RFK Sr. would also be assassinated about 1 month later, deepening the divide in the nation. The plaza serves the same purpose today, it just has different stores than it did in the 1960s. 1 year after it opened, the Show Me Center hosted the President of the United States.
It's great to be in Cape Girardeau, and I want to thank the Southeast Missouri State University Foundation, the university, and Congressman Emerson for the invitation.
The Gipper, Ronald Reagan, showed up to Cape for a rally that featured several local and regional politicians, including Bill Emerson, who our bridge is named after. Today, the Show Me Center continues to be a venue for any big show in town. While in office, President Bill Clinton kicked off a bus tour that started right here in Capitol Park. The year was 1996. Clinton was beginning a bus tour and his first stop was in Cape Girardeau, but it wasn't his first time in Cape.
It's good to be in Cape Girardeau. It's not the first time I've ever been here, but it's the first time I've ever been here as president. And the last time I was here as a private citizen, I just stopped and got a Coke and nobody came out to see me. It's pretty nice to be here with 30,000 of our best friends. Thank you.
Capitol Park hasn't changed much since then, with the exception of a new playground, and they have removed the swimming pool. In 2008, when Barack Obama was running for office, he made a campaign stop right here in this parking lot. In 2008, this lot was a clothing manufacturer called Thorngate. Obama took the time to discuss energy and job creation.
The main thing that we've seen here in the Midwest when it comes to energy has been ethanol.
6 months later, he would be elected president. And here we are back at the Show Me Center.
Thank you very much, Missouri. You are incredible, incredible people.
30 years after President Reagan visited, President Trump held a rally to support Josh Hawley the night before midterm elections. Several big names were also there, including Ivanka Trump and Rush Limbaugh. That was the last time the president or future president visited Cape Girardeau. So, to wrap things up, Cape Girardeau's first presidential visit came 116 years ago with President William Howard Taft as he was touring down the Mississippi. And in 1952, Vice Presidential candidate Richard Nixon, aka Tricky Dick, stops by train. I later found out that he gave a speech at the Hawk Fieldhouse. The following decade, the plaza welcomes former Attorney General and brother of JFK, Robert F. Kennedy. If not assassinated, many believe he would have easily won the presidential election that year, as he was extremely popular. The first president to visit the Show Me Center was Ronald Reagan in 1988 for a Republican Party rally. In 1996, Bill Clinton kicks off a bus tour that begins in Capitol Park. 6 months before he was elected president, Barack Obama holds a town hall meeting at the Thorngate factory in Cape, which is no longer here. And finally, the last presidential visit took place in 2018 when Donald Trump held a rally the night before midterm elections. So everyone, we're at the end of the presidential tour. This is my friend Erwin Porter, and he saw Bill Clinton in 1996. And Erwin, can you take us through that day?
Well, so it was on August the 30th, and so me and my dad came up from New Madrid and to see Bill Clinton. He was just coming off the Democratic Convention in Chicago, so Cape Girardeau was their first stop. So we come on up, and we got here early to get a good spot, and we did. And so it took a while. They finally rolled in with a bunch of Secret Service SUVs and I don't know, 4 or 5 buses with the Clinton Gore. So anyway, so it was exciting because they had the President of the United States, the Vice President, the First Lady, and the Second Lady along with them. And so it was really worth the time we spent to come up here, and had a big crowd, and it was just a very nice day weather-wise. Even though it was August, it wasn't just terribly hot. So looking back, I mean, it's 29 years ago. It was a good while back, but to me, you know, as you get older, it's just like yesterday.
Yeah. And it happened right over here. Can you tell us about how you had a conversation with Al Gore and Hillary after the speech? Yeah,
so after the speeches, we stayed around hoping we meet some of them, and we noticed they were kind of like, you know, meeting and greeting people. So we was just right over here, which isn't very far. We wasn't very far from the stage. Let's just say 30 yards, something like that. So we had a real good spot. So afterwards, a lot of people were leaving, and we hung around. Then it wasn't real long. Vice President Gore and his wife Tipper Gore, and then Hillary Clinton worked over towards us, and they kept coming, and so they came right up to us. So we started up a conversation and kind of introduced ourselves. And so it ended up my dad had a good conversation with Hillary Clinton just about general stuff. He had a cap on that she really liked. She mentioned something about his cap, so he explained to her about his cap. And me and Al Gore just had a conversation about just general stuff about labor and work, you know, working people, and kind of make sure he doesn't forget the working man, you know, and all that. We had a nice conversation, and of course his wife Tipper, she didn't really say a whole bunch. It was just mainly Hillary Clinton and Al Gore. But it was real neat after it happened. I thought, you know, I've had like a 4 or 5 minute conversation with the Vice President of the United States, with the First Lady right there beside me. And it kind of sunk in later, the magnitude of it. And I said, that was pretty dang, I was pretty fortunate to be able to do that. And I'll never forget it. I mean, I can remember it just like it was yesterday.
Yeah. So, can you hold the photo up so we can see?
Yeah.
Of course, I'll take a shot of that.
So what happened, back in the days, you know, I probably had might have been a throwaway camera. I'm guessing it probably was. And so I was taking photos, and of course, when she came up and met my dad, of course, you see she's shaking his hand, and they're talking, and he's grinning real big. And that's a cap. You can kind of see it kind of got different colors. And she kind of liked his cap. It got her attention. And they talked about it for a little while. And so it was real enjoyable. So I got this photo, and it's real neat. The only thing I wished I got more of my dad's face, but you can tell it's him by his profile. And so this was in August of 1996. So for Christmas, I had this blown up to this 11 by 16 or whatever it is to give to my dad for Christmas. So this was a Christmas present to him in the Christmas of 96. Okay. And it hung on their hallway for years and years. And when they both, my mom and dad both passed in 2019, we all kind of, you know, got stuff out of their home. And of course I had to recover this. Mm-hmm. And now this hangs on my hallway here at Cape.
Okay. So remember when I had said that Bill had said he'd been to Cape Girardeau previously, and he has some, well, obviously he has ties to this region, being from Arkansas. Can you tell us a story about his father, how he passed away?
Yeah.
Kind of in the area. It's
Yeah,
not too
it
far from
was.
here.
So south of here is Sykeston, Missouri. So the story is, and it has been documented. It is, a true fact. His dad was named William Blythe, Blythe.
Okay.
And so Bill Clinton was maybe a year old. He wasn't maybe a year or two old at the most. And his dad was coming back to Hope, Arkansas from somewhere up north, traveling back home. And the story is he was on Highway 61 a little bit north of Sykeston and had an accident and killed him. And then so a little later on, his mother remarried a Clinton. And so Bill Clinton actually took his stepfather's name. And that's why he was William Clinton. And so his dad was actually, I think, William Blythe. So that's something that's documented, and it's kind of neat that that part of history with one of our presidents is right here in our backyard.
Yeah, it was weird to think about. And I remember at some point hearing Bill was a big Cardinals fan, which makes sense. You think most people in this region grew up being St. Louis Cardinals fans. I know he's a big Stan Musial guy. It's really interesting to think, how we're not too far from where he grew up and all that stuff. But now I want to go over here. Erwin's going to show us exactly where the speech took place and where the photo took place as well.
So here's kind of what we did. So this park has changed quite a bit since 1996. Used to be a swimming pool over there. Now there's a playground, a parking lot there, and it appears that it was grass back in the days. And so the road here is still the same. It curved through here. So me and my dad, when we got here early to get a good spot. We wanted a spot right on the rope line. So we park back over here by Southeast Hospital and walk through the park, come up through here. So we walk over here and about somewhere like right here is where we were. So they had a rope line about 10 feet off the pavement. So we was right here by the rope line. So here we are standing here. Well, of course, we have to wait for a while because we probably got here in line, I'm going to say 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., 10:30. And they wasn't scheduled in until maybe 1 p.m., so we had a lot of time to kill. Maybe if we had to use the restroom, we would just take each other's spot, save our spot. Anyway, so we was here. So when they finally rolled in, they come in off of Broadway and come down West End, and about 5 or 6 what you call tour buses had the Clinton Gore 96 and a bunch of Secret Service vehicles, the SUVs, Suburbans. So they roll in and they come down through here. So we're right here with a bunch of people all up here, all back in there. The stage is right over here to my right. So when they roll in, we're looking to see what we can see. And President Clinton, he got down in the stairwell in the bus. And I guess he was kind of stooped down on that bottom platform and he was waving. I told my dad, I said, well, there he is waving. He was just grinning real big, waving at us, went right by us. So they go in there, they all pull up, and so after they stop, of course, it's 20, 25 minutes before anybody comes out as far as President Clinton. I guess probably Secret Service protocol and safety. So when they finally come out, they all take their place on the stage over here. So the stage, I guess we walk over here and I kind of show you where the stage is. So once they all get out of the buses and all it was President Clinton, Vice President Gore, First Lady Hillary Clinton, Second Lady Tipper Gore, and whoever else, other people. So anyway, so they make their speeches. So here's where the stage was. This has changed. I'm thinking all that was grass before they put the parking lot in. So probably there, I'm gonna walk over here where the stage, pretty well where it was. Probably right in here, because it was offset off of us a little bit. I was looking kind of to the back side of the stage. So it was probably right here, and that's where they made their speeches facing the big crowd all out in here. A crowd all out in here and all down the road. So that's kind of where they made their speeches. So then after it was over, of course we hung around trying to, in case we could meet some of them. And so as the crowd was leaving, we still was hanging around. So we're over here at my spot. So over at my spot, we'll walk back over here and I'll tell you what happened over here. We're over here the whole time, me and my dad. And so after it was over, and I noticed they was mingling around, kind of meeting and greeting people. So we stood around here. Then Vice President Gore and Hillary Clinton and Tipper Gore kind of worked their way over here towards us, and they come right over to us. And when they did, we struck up a conversation. That's what this picture is when she introduced herself. Her dad introduced him to her. So we had a conversation with First Lady Hillary Clinton, and then Vice President Al Gore. We had a conversation about just mainly work-related issues and jobs and stuff like that for him to, fight for us, make sure we got jobs and all that. And then, of course, Tipper Gore talked some, but she wasn't in the conversation as much. So really, I had about a 4 or 5 minute conversation with Vice President Gore. Well, President Clinton, he was kind of behind, kind of coming our way. So I thought, well, he's going to end up over here too. I'm going to be able to meet him. Well, he got kind of close, let's just say 20 yards, and all of a sudden it's over with. Secret Service and all that, I guess they was on a time schedule or something. They had to kind of politely say goodbye, and they had to go in their buses. So I kind of missed a meeting and talked to President Clinton. If I would have known what was going to happen, I would have just walked over there, but I didn't know that. I kind of assumed that he was going to make his way over to us, and it didn't happen. But anyway, he got close, and I was able to hear his speech. I was able to talk to the Vice President, the First Lady, and the Second Lady, which made a great day. Me and my dad had a great time, and we'll never forget it. In the moment, I just was talking. I knew he was a vice president, but it didn't really sink in until afterwards. And then after maybe the next day, I kind of thought, this is something else. I actually had a conversation with the sitting vice president of the United States and with the First Lady of the United States. And it was just almost surreal. I thought, that was a bigger deal than what I thought it was as we did it. So yeah, it's a big honor, and I tell people about it. I'm proud of the fact that I was able to do that, and it kind of makes you connected to your leaders, and it kind of makes you realize they're just real people like we are. We always want to put them up on a pedestal and think they're something more than a human being, and that day kind of reminded me they're just regular people just like we are.
Your dad not only met Hillary Clinton, but another very famous individual?
Yeah. He sure did. So later on in life, let's just say my dad was born in 1920, so at the time he was 76. So let's just say 96, 30 years later, which was 2016, he was a 96-year-old World War II veteran and a big Taylor Swift fan. So it went on Facebook about him, being so unique. KFVS here in Cape done a story on him. It went viral. Taylor Swift's dad picked up on that about him being a Taylor Swift fan. And so she told her dad, I want to see that man. So I think she has a tradition where the day after Christmas, she'll visit somebody special. And she picked my dad to visit there in New Madrid. So it was all a secret deal. They had to set it up through my sister that was on one of the KFVS stores. She had to keep everything secret. So anyway, she showed up at my mom and dad's house in New Madrid on December 26th, the day after Christmas 2016, to visit my dad. She brought her mom and dad with her. She brought her guitar. She played Shake It Off and stayed there about an hour and a half. We all had a big visit. I have a big giant family. We was on their back porch. They went inside. Daddy wanted to show them photos of the family, his World War II stuff, and we just had a great time. So that was another big milestone in his life. I'm proud of the fact that I enjoyed that with him, and then the visit with the vice president, and it was real neat. But yeah, Dad became a local celebrity. For like 2 weeks, he was just on all kinds of international media. TV station out of Canada contacted him for a live interview on their morning show. I have a niece that set that up, and he done it out of his home. So my dad was a celebrity there for a while, and he's known for that. The guy that Taylor Swift visited. So it was a neat experience.
Well, that's all for now. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot. This has been before and after presidential visits in Cape Girardeau.